Preparing for life.
Can you hear the thunderstorms? It's raining heavily outside.
Beginning. Good
Yes, we are
evening
live.
and welcome everyone, dear teachers, students, and the speaker of the day, Mr. Nadeem Khan, dear students. I feel privileged to announce Learn from Home webinar series for a higher level English medium school organized by MNET and the technical support of AINET Connect, featuring speakers like Dr. Manjushri Sardeshpande, the chairperson of the Board of Studies, Balbharti Pune, Mr. Nadeem Khan, academic coordinator of Chess Ra Aurangabad and Board of Studies member, Balbharti Pune, Mr. Miss Renita Augustine, State Resource Person of Chess Ra Aurangabad, Miss Vinita Nair, a Resource Person of English New Syllabus, Miss Sylvia Francis, State Resource Person of Chess Ra Aurangabad. Learn from Home webinar series started from 4th of August 2020 and is going to continue till 21st of August daily, except Wednesdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. This series would provide a wonderful platform to know and understand your English activity sheet. I request all our participants to be a part of this series that would guide you to deal your English activity sheet according to the state board norms and criteria. Today, the speaker is Mr. Nadeem Khan. Mr. Nadeem Khan is teaching English at Nutan Kanya Junior College, Bhandara. He is the State Academic Coordinator of English Online Project run by the State Institute of English for Maharashtra. He did his schooling from Samarth Vidyalaya, Lakhni, graduation from J.M. Patel College, Bhandara, and pursuing PhD from Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. He is a certified trainer for eFlu Hyderabad on Rello India's sponsorship. He has worked on many state government projects run by the government of Maharashtra, RMSA, Mumbai, SCRT, Pune, SIEM, Aurangabad, Tata Trust, and British Council. He is also the Board of Studies member of Maharashtra State Bureau of Textbook Production, Balbharti, Pune. He is the treasurer of INET Association of English Teachers and active member of Bandara English Teachers Club and ITFL UK and TESOL US. He is passionate about wildlife photography and runs an NGO that works around tiger reserves in central India. Welcome, sir. Sir is going to deal with question number 7.2, that is news report. I request sir to please take over. Sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much, Renu ma'am.
Sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Yes, yes. I'm audible. I have unmuted myself. I'm audible now.
Sir, you
Renu
have
ma'am.
to unmute yourself.
Yes. Can any other member in the Zoom tell me? I'm audible.
Now you're.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. So let's begin this this is my second session on MNET, and we meet daily. And today I have swiped my role. Now today I am the presenter. So our topic for the day is news reports. Yeah, news reports writing. And this is one of my favorite topics. That's why I have asked Renu ma'am to present on this topic. And thank you, Renu ma'am, for approving my request. Yeah, dear students, I have worked with professional newspapers in Central India. If you know Lokmat Times and the Hitwada, Central India's English newspapers, and some English news channels as well. So I hope I would be able to tell you something about the news and the skill of writing news. I'm going to share my screen now. Yeah, writing news reports. Can you remove my co-host permission, Renu ma'am? Or yeah, shall we proceed like this only? Okay, fine. So the topic for the day is news report writing, and I hope you are looking at this newspaper. This is MNET News, today's newspaper, published from Mumbai, and the headline, the students in the Zoom. Can you tell me what's the headline?
Learn from home.
From home webinars.
Yeah, learn from home webinar. This is the headline. Okay. The second headline we call it slug. It is webinar on news report writing for 10th. And then what is written over there? Can anybody, any student from the Zoom room, can you please come and read this for me? Renu ma'am, can you unmute any student from our Zoom room?
Sir, the whole article.
Yes.
Sir, can I start?
Yes, please. Shubham.
The webinar for students of the 10th standard is organized by the Mumbai network of English teachers on Thursday, second last in the series of webinars. Nadeem Khan, Nadeem Khan, member of Board of Studies, Bal Bharti, will conduct a webinar on writing news reports today. Students from all over Maharashtra are attending this webinar.
Yeah, thank you very much, Shubham. So this is one sample of a news item. And we, at the end of this webinar today, we will learn how to write a news report. So, what do you think about this career of news report writing? Is it attractive? Is it a lucrative career option for you, or you don't want to become any news reporter? What's your interest? Let me see some comments from YouTube or in the chat box here. Yeah, so some people find it attractive. Okay, fine. It's interesting. Jignasa says, Priya says it's attractive. Nice, interesting. Okay, so nowadays news report or the mass media has gained a center stage, and this profession, a lot of people are entering this profession now. So let's see what this profession is and how you can write a news report. And this question is actually we are dealing with the activity sheet format in this entire series, Learn from Home. So today my main focus will be on writing a news report. So there are certain characteristics of a news. So can anybody tell me what is a news? What is the full form of news, or what do you mean by the news? Okay.
You all can write.
Can you read comments in the chat box, Renuma? I'm not able to see those comments.
No,
I'm watching
they
the
are not
Zoom.
writing it.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
they have already.
Responses on YouTube say north, south, east, west. Okay.
Hmm.
News is a short summary about incident. Raj Mori, good. Jignasa says information gathered from all over place. Machindra sir, hi. Borade sir says information coming from all directions. Good. Information about event occurrence. Okay. North, east, west, south. Good. So news for me, or what we interpret when we work in
And
industry.
one from Zoom is saying new information about recent events. News
Great,
information.
great.
Shubham is saying.
So yeah, Shubham. So everything new is news. So I would say news is the plural form of new. So every newspaper gives a new information, or every piece of news gives a new information. That's why we call it news. It's not like it's coming from north, east, west, south, or this, but it certainly is a new thing, because people are more interested in learning about the events or any scandal or any development or any like sports event, for example. They want to know about the new things. What's new is news. So first character of the news is they are always factual. So but in today's era it has become a little bit difficult to differentiate between the actual news, means the factual news, it's the actual news, and the fake news. So there are certain if you would like to discuss about fake news, we can discuss it in the question and answer part later. But every new news that is coming in, it's always factual one. Second characteristic is the information they provide can be verified. So there are some sources of information, and all the information that comes in to you, if you are working as a reporter or in some news bureau, you can always check, you can always verify the information whether it is correct or not. And if the news or whatever information, piece of information you have got, if it is not verified, it doesn't go in the newspaper, okay, or news media, online media or e-media or mass media. So the information, every news can be verified. So you must be, if you are a good newspaper reader, you might have read about according to the sources or according to the authorities. So these sources are police department, some government publicity department, some officers, some news agencies, or if it comes from any non-governmental source or non-authoritative source, uh, the reporters usually quote the name of the sources, like the name of person or people from whom they are getting the information. Third characteristic of a news is they usually follow a specific format. So there is always a headline. Some news they use photographs. So whatever you write under a photograph, we call it a caption, and we always give whatever right there. We give the credit to the photographer. We write the name of the photographer or the agency which has provided. We call it a credit line. So, but today we will not talk about the news containing photograph. We will only talk about a simple plain news structure where there is a headline, then there is a dateline, then there is a lead para. Lead para means the very first paragraph. We also call it the introductory paragraph or intro, simply intro, and a short continuing paragraph. So all these things comprise to form a specific news format. Next characteristic is they are aimed at people with a specific interest. So, like what I do when I get a newspaper, first I read the headlines on first page. Then I never open the second page and go to the second page and third page and fourth, fifth. I never go like this. After reading the news on the very first page, I go to the last page and second last pages, which give news about sports because I am very much interested in sports. So my interests are in sports. So I read the newspaper and I jump to the sports section. Suppose I am suppose there is one more person or my brother who is investment banker. So where would he go? He would wait for the newspaper, and if he gets the newspaper, he would certainly go to the economics and business section of the newspaper. And then there are politicians or some writers, thinkers. They usually go and read these editorial columns first. Then there are people who are interested in only entertainment and Bollywood, spicy news, masala news. So what do? They just jump onto this entertainment section or Bollywood section or pastime section of any newspaper, and they read all such things. I don't think any person. There are very rare people who read. People who read from the very first page till the last page. Yeah, there is a power cut at my place, so I hope I'm audible now, but I will stop my video. Okay, good to go. Yeah,
You're
sorry for
audible, sir.
audible. Yeah, but not visible.
Not visible.
Yeah. So there are different people, and all people are targeted by these news agents, newspapers. Then we call news a report. So a report is this could be an incident that had happened over past 24 hours if we speak in terms of the print media, or that may have happened over a last couple of hours when we speak for the e-media or the mass media like news channels. So it could be any incident like any accident or any like tragedy that had happened, anything. Then events are also reported, but not all the events are reported. Only important events are reported in news. Events like visits of the foreign ambassadors or foreign national heads, or if we talk about the small cities, the events like celebrating the anniversary of any senior leader or the freedom fighters, or these kind of events, or events that happen in the schools or colleges or all these things. But this shouldn't be commercial or promotional events. Then there is a business report and there are business correspondents in the newspaper. And one thing I must tell you, for every separate page, we call it beat. For every separate beat, there are separate kinds of reporters, and they only report those things in bigger places, in metro cities or in big cities. What happens in district places? There are a team of 1 to 5 reporters, and these reporters, they collect news on everything they know, and then they forward it to the news bureau and it's published. So all these things like sports events and sports matches going on, and the calamities that happen over at different places, all these are reports. So what is the news? Everything that happens in last 24 hours, or everything that happens from the last bulletin reported to this bulletin, is a news report. Okay. Now there are different sources of news. Okay. Factual, there is question on YouTube. Factual is actually occurring. Yeah, factual means based on real facts. Machindra sir, thank you very much. So sources of, let's come to the next point, sources of news. So can you tell me some sources of news? Have you heard about some sources of news? Yes, I'm watching the comment section for next half minute. Can you give me your answers in the comment section? What are sources of news?
Students in the Zoom room.
Yes, government agency. Om says government agency. Uday Singh has said TV news channels. Yeah, actually, TV news channels are sources of information for larger mass media, but we still can't say that it's a source of news, because there is issue of credibility with these news channels, because every news channel belongs to some business house. Yeah.
Nina
Uh,
Vasani saying police.
Police are also sources of news. Yeah, okay, good. Authorities.
Radio.
Okay.
Shubham Ghate saying.
Yeah, these are actually mass media. These are actually not sources of news.
And newspaper,
Source means
magazines.
the place from where these newspapers, magazine, TV, radio, all these are mass media. Okay, these are not sources of a news. Source of news is mentioned in the report that is given in that magazine or newspaper. So these are news agencies that provide the news. Okay, that are sources of news. Like for example, the government. Somebody had already said police. Okay, then the press agencies. You know what press agencies are? Yes, Sunil Bopche sir. Yeah, PTI, ANI, correspondent. Good, good. Correspondents like district correspondent, wildlife correspondent, sports correspondent, political correspondent. Okay, good. Also, word of mouth. So, when a news is spread from one place, it spreads like a bonfire. So, it spreads very fast like a wildfire, not bonfire. Sorry. So, word of mouth is a great source of news. But one thing, you can rely upon the sources like government agencies or press agencies. There are different press agencies. You might be hearing their names time and again. Like in China, they have the news agency Xinhua, Zinhua, or in France, they have AFP, Associated France Press, AFP. In India, we have a private news agency called ANI, Associate News International. Then we have a government agency called PTI, Press Trust of India. So there are different sources of news. In America, we have Reuters. We spell it Reuters. Okay. So yeah, we are getting some more sources in comment section of the chat section of the YouTube as well. So good response. Thank you very much. So all these are different sources of news. So what is the news? The Wikipedia defines the news is the communication of information, okay, on current events, which is presented by print, broadcast, internet, or word of mouth to a third party or mass audience. So it for any communication, news is the communication. For any communication, there is one sender and there is one receiver. Okay. So when sender sends the information to receiver, the sender uses some channel or some media. So all the print or the broadcast means radio as well as the TV telecast as well, or internet like the portals. All these are the media. So whenever any information is communicated from the sender to the receiver, here sender is the newspaper and receiver is the common people. They use a channel like their newspaper or their TV channel, and the information is sent from sender to receiver. But here the receiver is a large number of groups and people and population. So when it becomes a very large number, we call it mass media. Okay. So all these mediums, they become a mass media. That is the reason why we call the newspaper or the channels a mass media, because it reaches to the masses and it is owned by some company or a print house. So that is the definition of news given by Wikipedia. And when the receiver, like we audience or the readers of news, we respond to the newspaper, then the channel becomes complete. If I'm a good reader, I would send my comments, my feedback in the online e-paper, say comment section of that newspaper. So it completes the cycle. So my feedback, when it is received by the newspaper, the communication cycle is complete. And you can send your comments and the feedback, like you are giving feedback here to me in this webinar. You can send the handwritten letters to the editor of any newspaper. So in this way the communication process goes on, and this is the news. Now, I'm sharing with you a handout where you will be able to read same event reported by two different newspapers. So friends, reporting varies from organization to organization, and every newspaper organization, not just newspaper, here we are concerned with newspaper scripts, but any news organization follows their own style of presentation and language and diction. So let's see. uh, this is the news item reported by two national dailies about the same event. Okay. And this speaks about the burglary at a cell phone shop, or like the mobile phone showroom that was uh, burgled. So this is the handout I'm giving you in a maximized version, and I give you 10 minutes. No, 10 minutes will be too much. You are a good reader, I know. I will give you 6 minutes to read this and understand the difference between these two news items. News items are different, but the event is same. Same event is reported by two different newspaper dailies in different manner. Now you have to compare and tell me which one is better, and you also have to tell me why it is better. Okay. Somebody on the YouTube says it's not clear. Actually, the transmission is clear from our end, from Zoom to YouTube. But sorry, dear students, you have to make your YouTube stream either in 720 or 1080 format. That means the SD format. Okay. Only then you will be able to read it properly. So students whose connections are slow or bandwidth is slow, they must be getting it as a blurred image. Raj More, make your screen quality high. Actually, the screen quality is high here, but on YouTube, it depends on your network. If the YouTube adjusts the bandwidth according to the bandwidth. So Om Agrawal says second one is good. Okay, as it's attractive and it's from the source of commissioner. Okay, fine. We will discuss these points. Yeah. Or just you can take a screenshot of this image and then you can also see this in your gallery. Okay, Raj was telling this to others to make screen quality high. Yes, Raj. I don't know whether you are a student or teacher, but you know the basics of YouTube. That's good thing. Okay, Chaitali says B is better. So let's see. Let's see what are the points that make it better. Uh, can you tell me why the second report is better? Anyone from the Zoom room? Yeah.
B1 is good, they're saying, but
Sorry.
they have not said why.
Okay.
Students, you
I
have to write why
I
the
think
B report is good.
okay. I
Why
think
do
A
you
is better.
find, what's the difference that you find between the A1 and the B1?
Yeah, I think report A is better, but all are saying B. So it happens when anybody replies with one answer, all agree, but it's everybody's perception. I'm not okay. Let's see. Now, again, see this news, the previous news, and the first one that I had shared when we began the session. So there is a headline. Yeah, both news have headlines. Dateline, the second news, B news has deadline that is perfect or much better than the A. Like it has written by our staff reporter, Chennai Jan.31. Okay, fine. Then it has the introductory paragraph and lead containing paragraphs. So what has happened is reported in very fast paragraph in a very crisp manner, and the following or follow up events or information is added in the containing paragraphs. So every newspaper has some format. Let's see what is a format of news. The headline, this we are talking again and again. Okay. The dateline, good. The lead para. Now tell me, uh, what are the features of a headline? Like you must have read the headlines in previous news item or the one we started with, the MNET news. So the headline is, it's very crisp, it's short, crisp. Crisp means uh, it carries more information in less words. So headlines should always be crisp. There is some myth about writing the news item that the news is reported only in present tense or not in past tense. Yeah, there is one comment in the chat box here. Meena was funny. The headline should be attractive. Yes, of course. I would say the first characteristic of a feature of a headline should be it should be attractive, because there are many newspapers in the market, and if they are kept on a stall, people will pick up only those newspapers which carry attractive headlines. So suppose for example, there is one incident that happened, like there was uh, any for take for example any event where there was a quarrel between two, for example, heroines, Bollywood heroines. So if one newspaper carries the headline that actually these things don't make it to headline, but let's talk about the page 3 section of the newspaper. So if any newspaper reports it like uh, quarrel at a party, and the second reporter or the newspaper gives some new, or we call it scoop, to the headline, and he reports that for example like there are two heroines. Let's take for example Katrina. So Katrina slaps some other lady or heroine Rina. So when these two things, one event is reported in two different manner, you are likely to pick up the newspaper which carries the second attractive headline. So it should be, the headline should be attractive. The dateline, it's the place and the source of newspaper and the day or date of the newspaper news which is reported. Then the intro when we will see towards the end of this workshop or webinar, you will see how to write a news using one formula, and I will give you that formula. And intro is followed by the short continuing paragraph. Okay, so we will see how to write the headline. And in some cases, like in your case, headline is always given in the newspaper, and then you have to write the lead para and the short continuing paragraph. So we will see how we can use this headline to write the lead para and short continuing paragraph. So you have to use the present tense when you are writing a headline. But in your case, headline is already there. We have already said that it should be crisp and catchy. It is written in the bold letters. So when you are rewriting in your these activity answer papers, so you have to use some bold letters and you have to use proper format. Actually, there is no mark on the proper format, but it appears good to read when you write it properly. And you have to avoid articles, preposition, helping verbs, conjunctions, but you are not going to write a headline. This is only for guidelines. Now, how to write a news dateline? First, you write the name of the reporter or the news agency. Then you write the name of the city or place. So we can again revisit, go back to the previous news items that I had shared, and you can find out how it was written. Then you write the month, like, but you never write the full names of month. Suppose, for example, it is August, you should write AUG only. Suppose it is June or July, you can write the full months, no problem. Even May, you can write full. March, you can write full. But January, February, and August, September, October, November, December, you can write only three letters, first three letters of that month. Okay, that is the format. Now, while writing an intro or the lead para, the first paragraph of news, in any news writing assignment or job, writing the first para is most important task. Suppose, or if you have written the first para very well, then you have won the half battle. So, dear students, be careful when you write this intro or the lead para. Now you will ask, what is the word limit? Can anybody tell me what is the word limit of a newspaper article for your 10th standard? Any responses over there? Yeah, good. Some of you already know. The word limit is 80 to 100 words, not more than that. So you don't have to write a lot of things. Okay. But I'll tell you how and what you have to write. This is the formula that I was talking about. It is 5W1H formula. This is not to students, but not to teachers, but the students who are watching this. Can you tell me, students, what is 5W1H? Waiting for responses in the chat. Okay, there are some teachers also who are watching this. So I will proceed with the presentation. 5W1H is who, when, where, why, what, and how. So you are given a headline, you just have to ask these 5W and 1H questions to that headline, considering it as a source. Like if you suppose you get a headline, means you get a news information and you dial a police for getting the information. So what will you ask the police? You will ask who about the incident, when it happened, where it happened, why, means the why, if there are any reasons, any investigation, any points that are revealed, that thing, and what had happened and how it happened. So this 5W1H formula will help you in writing your intro as well as lead paragraph. Okay. And now we will see how we are going to write the news. Okay. Using this 5W1H. Yeah, one more thing I would like to tell you. when you write any paragraph, it should have a coherence and cohesion. This thing I also talked while summary writing topic that I was dealing with. Coherence and cohesion means you are maintaining the unity of the time, means it is arranged logically in proper sequence, and it talks about only one thing. So if you are talking about news, suppose for example suicide or the Sushant Singh case, so you have to write only about Sushant Singh. You don't have to give, if you are dealing with this only one topic, you don't have to give any other details. But what happens in a race of giving some new information, and there is a rat race among all the reporters for scoop is the new news or exclusive news. People keep on adding many irrelevant things to the news, so the news becomes irrelevant. So there shouldn't be any personal opinion or extra information. So every news should follow the coherence and cohesion. Only and only facts should be reported. There should be no scope for personal opinions or any hypothetical guesses. A lot of news today are only hypothetical guesses, and they land up in some other. It becomes like a premium, or we call it a special feature on anything. It's not a news. Before reporting anything, we should cross check the names of person and places, because if you are reporting about the death, the names, their places, age also should be cross checked again. The factual information is given in simple past tense, but the developing stories, so there is a difference between a factual event reporting and a developing news reporting. So if you are using, if you are giving a report about any event that has happened, it should be in simple past tense. But if you are giving any information about a developing story, you can use the present continuous or simple present tense. So usually you get the headlines or you get the activities in your 10th standard about accidents, the strikes, rains like floods, any events or sports. All these form the newspaper. This I'm going to skip because we have already discussed about these, the two samples, that report A and report B. So let's go to the main part of our, it's okay 43, main part of our today's webinar, that you have to write now a newspaper, a news report on the headline, two die, one hurt in freak mishap. So how you are going to write? I will give you a template. Oh, dear students, please write this in your copy. And I'm stopping the share. I will come back in 1 minute and I will share, and we will see how we are going to write. So this is the headline. Okay. I'm sharing with you a template. You can follow this template. Can you enable my screen sharing option, Renu ma'am?
Yes, sir.
You remember the 5W1H. So this is the template that you have to follow for writing the news item. I will give you the answer, no doubt. You have 7 minutes. In 7 minutes, oops. In 7 minutes, you have to finish the writing. So are you writing? Viewers on YouTube, you won't be able to see the, okay, now you can see.
They are able to see.
Yes, yes. I will stop video. Now you can see the complete headline. Headline is already given. You have to write the dateline and remember what we say when what we discussed, the features of a dateline. Then you have to write the lead para, that is intro, that is very important thing, and the short continuing paragraph. I hope you all are writing. Any responses? Okay. Or shall we start writing collaboratively together? What do you say, students?
They're writing.
They are writing. Okay.
No, no. Bhuvnesh is saying yes.
Yes means what? Together? Okay. Om says together. Chetna also says together. Okay. Let's go to the slide. So, okay. Now you can see my editing, PowerPoint editing screen. So what we are going to put here in the dateline, dear students, just you can unmute yourself and tell me. So this is the dateline under the headline, and we always write the source of the news. So we can say by staff reporter. Are you able to see what I'm typing here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you,
sir.
Shubham. Yeah. Or you can also write by our correspondent. Okay. Some newspapers write uh, like by so Express News Service is the Indian Express style. Okay. Or there is Times of India newspaper. They write TOI correspondent. Okay. So these are for your examples only. We will write here by our correspondent. So the correspondent is filing this news. That's why the name goes there. Now, what should be there in the dateline? The place from where it is reported. So for example, we will write here Mumbai. Okay. And the date it is reported, for example, 20 August. Or you can also write August 20. Okay. So in this way, you can write the dateline. This is your dateline. If you have written your dateline, you are off to a good start. Now we have to write the lead para. Now, what are the questions that I will ask to a news source? For example, here, a police. What happened? When happened? Where happened? And how it happened? So I'm choosing these 4 questions to use it here, and why and other things I can include it in the short continuing paragraph. So I will prepare a draft, news draft like this. In a freak mishap that took place, okay, I'm removing the underline. So that was a freak mishap that took place where? On Western W capital Expressway at around 9 p.m. on, or we can say at around 5 p.m. on Thursday. In a freak mishap that took place on Western Expressway at around 5 p.m. on Thursday, 2 people died, because headline says 2 people have died on the spot, while one other sustained injuries. Okay, so this is what has happened. Freak mishap had happened where? Western Expressway, when? At around 5 p.m. on Thursday. And again, what? 2 people died on the spot while one other sustained injuries. When their car, or when the car they were traveling in collided. So what happened? There was a collision head on with a truck. You can say truck or a jeep. Okay, so I will write jeep. Okay, with a jeep coming from opposite direction. So here we finish our intro. What information is given here? What, when, where, and how. So the car they were traveling in collided head on with a jeep coming from opposite direction. So this is how. Now we come to the short continuing paragraph, and we begin with the real source of the information. Like for example, as per the police reports, the driver of the car lost his control over the driving wheels, driving, sorry, oops, and rammed into a jeep coming from the opposite direction. The car jumped over the divider. This is how it happened, and collided head on. The driver of the car, XYZ, I'm not taking any name. In bracket, you can write the age, his companion ABC, age 29, died on the spot, while one other person sustained grievous injuries, or uh, was injured seriously. The injured has been admitted to XYZ hospital. Uh, you can write any police station name. QWERT police are investigating further. So this is our complete news item, and as you can see, this is our lead para, and the second is our short containing paragraph. Okay. Are you able to see this in complete full view? Renu ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, same headline can be written in your own style in different reporting about different accident. The headline will be same. Okay. This is another headline that I had prepared. Okay. In a freak mishap that took place at around 11 p.m. on Sunday on the Western Expressway near the Chembur Naka, at least 2 people died on the spot while one other sustained injuries. According to the police sources, 2 motorbike-borne youth heading to Sion collided head-on with a car coming from Panvel. The collision was so strong that both the rider and the pillion died on the spot, while the driver of the car sustained grievous injuries. So here you can see names are not given. So it's totally up to you whether you want to give the names or not. And every headline can have a different answers. The eyewitnesses reported that. So here the source of information, secondary source of information are the eyewitnesses, reported that the car driver lost his control and hit the bike. The police have registered the case and further investigations are underway. So dear students, in this way you can write the news articles, and this was all from my side. We have tried to write a news article within given time, and I hope I have finished on time. Thank you, Renu ma'am, and thank you all the students. It's over to you.
Thank you,
We
sir.
can have discussions.
There are some few questions. Hello, sir.
Yes.
There are few questions.
Questions on YouTube, there are not many questions.
Only one question
I
that is
can,
there. In the
yeah.
training, they were told that news report paragraph can come as a paragraph. But when you did it, it was in a format of block letter, block style. So can they write in a paragraph form?
Paragraph form means what? These were
Two
the 2
finger
paragraphs.
space. 2 finger space.
Sorry?
2 finger space.
2?
That is 2 finger space when you leave. So for the letter, it's block letter.
Yeah.
But here, can they leave some space to start the paragraph?
No, when you are writing the intro, you don't have to leave any space, and you can always begin with a all capital word. Okay, like we wrote in in a all capital format in. Okay, and there was no tab or space given when I began the intro. I mean the first paragraph. But in the second paragraph, you can begin with some space, no doubt.
Okay. So that means paragraphs are allowed.
Allowed. Yes, yes. Every newspaper has their own style to report things.
Shubham is asking how much time limit. Shubham, in the first session only it was said all writing skill 15 minutes.
Yeah, but for news, I think 10 minutes are okay. 10 minutes are more than enough for writing these things. There is one question. Do we have to leave a line after writing a paragraph? No need. Kishan Vishwakarma, no need. And there was one question that was asked previously, that what is a bulletin? So bulletin is a short official statement or broadcast summary of news. So the important news events are reported in a bulletin. Like there are headlines at the beginning, then the detail, and bulletin is over after 10 minutes or 20 minutes of time. So after regular intervals, bulletins are given on channel. Yeah, distribution of marks, 5 marks for this activity. Mm, do we have to write the year? No, you don't have to write the year. Just write the name of the month and the date. You don't have to write the day or the year. I don't know from where this two finger space has come.
That is the in the 10th standard it's taught like that. For the
That are
date, sir, it's
okay.
first, suppose today is 20th August, 2020. That's taught. Okay, throughout. So they have to write it like that, and they have to write in paragraph. For
That
the
could be a
10th standard.
convention, or that could be a practice by some teachers, but it is not mandatory, students. Yes.
Hardly any question.
Hmm.
So, anyone, any student wants to ask any question?
On YouTube. No more. How we write date? Sachin is asking. So date format is already given. Write first three letters of the month. Like if it is March, write MAR, and for example 23 or 21. Only that thing. Don't write TH or ST or 2020 even here. No need to write it. Avinash Rade sir, the expert from Balbati, is there on the YouTube. He says while writing a letter, instead of using a tab, it was recommended to give 2 line space.
Two finger spaces.
So
Yes, sir.
opinions vary, but I don't think there are clear-cut instructions in the evaluation pattern about the 2 finger space or the 2 line space.
No, it is just code.
Shubham asks, how much is the time limit for news report? Or was that earlier question? Yeah, already addressed. 10 minutes is fine, Shubham. 10 minutes max. What we have to write in conclusion paragraph? You can write in the concluding paragraph how it happened and why it happened. Only that things. And only give factual information. Be it a news of a farmer suicide or the flood affecting any area, write only factual information with the sources from where it is coming. Like the PTI reports that, or the ANI reported that. You can use some phrases like this. So this is a proper terminology that is used in the newspaper, like according to the sources, according to the police. And if you are writing anything which is not what I would say from a reliable sources, you can ask a small word reportedly before that thing. So it doesn't come to you. The responsibility is not yours then, not the reporters. If you write reportedly, but don't go and write reportedly in your news reports, in your answers. Just only write factual information. I hope that's all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So I
thank you.
thank you, sir. There were many confusion that you have cleared, and I request Aditi to propose the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. On the behalf of members of MNET, I would like to thank Mr. Nadeem Khan for volunteering his time and providing us such an important and informative presentation and sharing his knowledge with us on the topic of news report. The topic explained by him is definitely going to be of immense help for the students. I would also want to appreciate the constant efforts provided by Mr. Nadeem Khan for providing the necessary technical support to MNET. Many thanks to the host and convener, Mrs. Renu Dotre, for organizing this extremely insightful Learn from Home series for students of higher level English high school through the platform of MNET. These workshops have enabled the students to learn English language through the online platform. I would like to extend a thanks to the participants from various countries for effectively participating in various MNET workshops held till date. We at MNET appreciate the positive feedback obtained from all participants and look forward to such enthusiasm from them in the future as well. Once again, a huge thanks to everyone. And as we say, knowledge shared is knowledge squared. So, request everyone to share these knowledgeable videos to all students and teachers. Have a great evening. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, Nadeem, sir. Thank you,
Thank you.
participants. Any query that you all have, you all can put it in the comment box. That will be dealt with you with the queries in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.